Hey, this is day 3 of our 5-day confidence series, and today we're going to do a little strength training workout. So in the email and in my video, I talked about the importance of strength training for all the reasons, right? Osteoporosis and sort of offsetting that lack of estrogen we have for stimulating our muscles. So the need to kind of lift some weights to take place of that physiological process. So, this will be a total body workout. What I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate a warm up. I'm going to demonstrate one set of each move. So for each body part, we're just going to do 2 moves, and we're going to do a cool down. So warming up and cooling down are extremely important, right? No matter what age, but especially when we get a little bit older, we want to make sure that we are not, putting ourselves at risk for injury, and we want to get the most out of what we're doing here. So when you don't warm up, you're putting yourself at risk of an injury, but then you're also, taking the big beginning of your workout, and instead of being really productive and functional towards the goals you have, you're actually using it as a warm up. But since you're kind of lifting heavy, you're risking yourself for injury. So we don't want to do any of that. So we're just going to head into a nice warm up. But before we do, I just want to kind of say, I have a wide range of weights here. I have 8s, 10s, 15s, and 20s. And, what we want to do is we definitely want to challenge our muscles. So the last couple reps of any set should be challenging. So you want to make sure that it's not too easy, that it becomes, you could do 15, 20 reps, no problem, but you don't want it to be so heavy that you're compromising form and, again, putting yourself at risk for injury. So, just grabbing a couple of different sets of weights, some kind of a moderate, what you would think would be a heavier set, kind of whatever you've got, and just play with it. If you can maintain form and it gets a little bit more challenging at the end, it's a perfect weight. If you find that, this is geared towards somebody working out at home, because sometimes we just can't get to the gym, right? That's one of the main excuses. So if you take the travel time out of it and you set yourself up with a little bit of equipment, that excuse is out the window. So we're focusing today on doing something at home. Further down the line, I will work on, how to optimize and navigate the gym and all that kind of stuff, because it's nice to go there sometimes for heavier weight, because you're going to get stronger and you're going to need heavier weight. But today, just kind of just a couple of sets. Just grab what you have. You can get weights at Walmart. You can get weights at TJ Maxx. They're really, really reasonable. You can go to Dick's. They're a little bit more expensive. You can go on Facebook Marketplace. You can go anywhere to get some weights. People are always giving up their weights. So let's just get started with a little bit of a warm up. We're going to do a body weight squat. We're just going to drop down to our heels here. So I'm not going to be playing any music because I want you to pay attention to me. But once you get these moves down, I want you to get into a rhythm. I want you to crank some of your most motivating music, and I want you to get after it. So just do about 10 of these. Dropping back into the heels. We're going to do a squat later, so want to make sure you kind of get this motion down before you add any weight. One more. Then we're just going to do some arm circles. So starting out small, starting to feel those shoulders open up. Let's do this for a little bit forward. And then backwards. And shake that out. Now we're just going to do some hip hinges. So feet are hip distance apart. And what you're going to just do is nice straight back here, just hinging at the waist. So kind of waking up those hamstrings, the glute, squeeze the glute at the top. This will kind of be, we're going to do a little bit of a deadlift. A little bit. We're going to do a deadlift. And you want to make sure, you always want to make sure you're engaging the right muscles, right? You want to just go through a workout and just have your mind somewhere else, because either you're not going to be working hard enough or you're not going to be paying attention and you're going to hurt yourself. And we really, really don't want that. So hinging from the hips here. And come back up. Now just kind of open your hips a little wider. We're just going to do some torso twists. So kind of waking up the back and the spine. Moving those arms around, just kind of getting some mobility into your joints. And great job. Now we're just going to do a little inchworm here. So this will be, let me see if I can back it up a smidge here. So just going to walk out to a plank. And we're going to do these for like about a minute. So feet hip distance apart. You're going to walk it down, walk it all the way out to the top of a push-up, really focusing on that plank, that strong core, and then walking it back. So this is starting to really engage the chest, the shoulders, the core, the hamstrings, stretching them out. We'll do maybe 2 more here. And 1 more. Make sure you have water. Make sure you're coming into your workouts well hydrated. You slept well. So let's get to it. We're going to start off with chest. So our first move is going to be a push-up. So I recommend starting on your knees first. So you want to make sure that you're not on your knees like a tabletop. You want to shoot your knees back so you're kind of on the tops, on your quad a little bit. So you get a nice straight back. So you put your hands wide and we're just going to lower down nice and slow. We're going to just do this for 8 to 10 reps here. So exhaling on the way down, nice and controlled. So the closer your hands are to the center, the more you're going to engage your triceps here. And 1 more. Great job. Give it a little child's pose for a quick sec. Okay, for chest presses, again, you want to grab a weight that is challenging enough. Your chest is strong. So I'm going to grab, and I recommend you start a little lighter just to gauge where you're at. And again, if you bang them out, then you need to go heavier. But I'd rather you do that than hurt yourself. So back is nice and straight, flat on the bench. You can either put your feet up on the bench, you can put them down. You can also do this on the floor, but I like to do them on a bench. So focusing, your weights are directly above your chest here, and you're just going to bring them down to your shoulders and push them all the way up. Bring them down nice and controlled. You don't want to drop too low. You don't want to overextend anything. Exhaling on the exertion. We'll do 2 more here. Then kind of bring them together and just gently come up. We're going to start with a bent over row. So your back is strong, just like your chest. So you're going to hinge forward at the hips here. You don't want to round your back. You want to keep that back, like the low back, really protected. And what you're going to do is you're going to bring these up to your armpits almost and lower them down. So you're lifting them up like you're going to squeeze a pencil between your shoulder blades. And then just really gently put them down. So the second exercise for back will be one-armed rows. So you can stay with your 15s or whatever you're using. And placing your knee up on a bench or a table. Again, nice straight back. I like to use a mirror just to really make sure that my form is good. So let that nice stretch there in your back and then bring it up like in a start a lawnmower. And switch to the other side. So for shoulders here, I'm going to start with an overhead press and I'm going to do them one arm at a time. So I got this move from my son's physical therapist. So you're getting into a like a low lunge, and just so this activates your core as well. And you're going to start with your palms facing you. And we're just going to rotate out and lift it up. This helps you really kind of work your core too. And switch it out. Don't lock that elbow out. And you always want to keep a little tension on the muscle. This is getting a little challenging. I think it's always great to work one arm at a time or one leg at a time. When you're just starting, it really helps you to focus on that form. Probably going to go a little bit lighter and really be safe in order to really isolate that muscle and that muscle-mind connection. For our second shoulder exercise, I'm going to do a lateral raises. And I do these with a little bit lighter weight than when I just did the presses. So you can sit on a bench, have your arms down by your sides, and you're just going to lift your arms to shoulder height. And when you drop them by your sides again, keep a little tension in the muscle. You never want to have to start from the beginning every single time. So lifting it up. Don't go higher than shoulder height. And gently. So now we're going to move on to triceps. We're going to do tricep dips and tricep kickbacks. So with dips, you can do this on a coffee table, park bench, workout bench, step, like an aerobic step, if you remember those. And back in the Jane Fonda-ish days. So we're just gonna put our feet in front of us here. You can do like a nice 90-degree angle. The farther away you go, the harder it's gonna be. So you can start with your knees just 90 degrees and then just drop your triceps, drop your elbows back. And again, don't lock your elbows on the way up. So you just drop them in, dropping in as low, just to give your a little bit of work there. You can play around with expanding your legs out. And I lost track. So we'll just do 2 more. Okay, so with tricep kickbacks, again, this might require a little bit lighter of a weight, maybe what you did with the lateral raises. So similar to the one-arm dumbbell rows, you're going to use a bench here. You're going to keep your arm nice and tight to your side because the only movement should be in the lower part of your arm. So you're going to extend out and bring it in, keeping that upper arm nice and steady. And again, you want to keep tension on the muscle the whole time. And moving to the other side. So now we're going to do our biceps. So for biceps, you're going to do alternating curls and hammer curls. So here your arms start by your sides, palms facing in, and you're just going to alternate bringing one up and then the other. Again, not letting it completely relax at the bottom. And moving to hammer curls, you're just going to keep them with your palms facing your body, and you're going to alternate very similarly. You're just going to bring it all the way to the top. Keep that tension on that arm that's not doing the lifting. Again, this is where that muscle-mind connection is so important. Picture that muscle contracting, then lengthening. Picture yourself getting stronger. And then bring it to the rest of your life. You know, you've put this effort in. So this is why it's important to fuel your body with protein and nutrients to allow that muscle to grow and become strong, to protect your bones and to help you function. Lift your grandchildren someday if you don't already have them. You know, cut wood if you want to. right? We are not working out for our bikini bodies. We are working out for our old lady bodies, where we are going to look and feel so strong and sexy and confident. That's why we're here. So that's bicep. So we're going to do some Russian twists and then a plank. These are our core moves. And if you're really engaging your core through a lot of these exercises, you're working your core the whole time. But these are a little bit more isolated for core. So you can go ahead and take a weight. You don't have to do this with a weight at all. And just bring your legs out. So you can have your legs flat down. And then as you move on, you can lift them up a little. It's going to be a little more challenging, but I'm just going to show you with your legs down, right? So we're just going to do 10 on each side, so 20 total, and we're just turning. So you want to, like you're rowing a boat. Just focus on the exhale. You're obviously going to breathe. And this is those obliques and your whole core. You know, if you're lifting your legs up, it's obviously going to be a little more challenging. And great. All right, so now we're going to do a nice plank. You can do these on your, you can do them on your knees for sure. And bring yourself down here as long as your back is nice and straight. So you just want to hold this for 30 seconds. And you will definitely feel your core. If you want, you can come to a full plank, so shooting the weight out through your heels. As long as you have a nice flat back, you will feel everything turn on here. And you can just sort of test yourself a little bit. Doing that for 10 seconds, and you will get stronger, I promise you. So holding your plank for as long as you can, and then challenging yourself each time, trying to extend a bit longer. So then just finding a little child's pose for a quick minute. So we're going to do a squat, and you can do this body weight again, or you can do some weight. So maybe the first couple of rounds you do just your body weight. So again, you're really wanting to drop it all the way back like you're going to sit down, push off through your heels, squeeze your glute at the top. If you are going to add some weights, you have the choice of, you can hold them on above your shoulders, or you can hold them down by your sides, or you can get one heavier weight and hold it kind of right in front of you. Whatever feels the most kind of natural and helps you with the form and doesn't feel like you're throwing yourself up. So dropping all the way down, pushing up, squeezing at the top. This is not the time to drop really super low and have your butt kiss your heels. It's going to be tough to get back up. You lose all tension on the muscle. It might look like you're working harder, but you're going to really set yourself up for injury. All right, so the final exercise here is going to be a deadlift. And you can grab probably your heavier weights here. So I'm going to show you from the side. So hips are, or feet are hip distance apart, holding your weights in front of you here. So this is where those hip hinges are going to come back into play. So you're going to put a little bend in your knees, always. Do not lock out your knees. You're just going to let the weight graze down the front of you. And then come back up squeeze your glutes at the top. Nice and easy, just a nice easy gaze. You don't want to be looking too far up and crink your neck. These are great compound moves that work your whole leg, your posterior chain, great for posture. And one more. Excellent. Right, so we're just going to do a nice little cool down here. So come to a mat and finding a nice forward fold. So hinging from the hips, little bend in your legs, giving a little love to your back and your hamstrings, your glutes that you just worked. So I recommend doing that circuit twice through, maybe once or twice a week as a start, among, getting in some nice low-level cardio walks, especially with this time of year. It's so beautiful. And maybe a yoga video. I've attached another one to this email, this day's kind of activities to really focus on, low-level cardio, definitely some strength training, and that mindful, restorative kind of movement through yoga. You don't have to do it all, but just play around with it and see what feels good. And then let me know how you feel after doing them a few times. Coming back up here, just halfway lift. And then just make your way down to the mat. We're just going to kind of come on all fours here. And then just dropping your belly. A little cat-cow here. Pushing the mat away. Exhale, round your back. Always want to do a nice cool down after a workout. This helps bring your nervous system down. Stretches out those muscles so that you'll have less soreness. You want to also, again, make sure you're not working out 2 days back to back. You want to give yourself plenty of rest, hydrate, eat lots of nutritious, healthy food, lots of protein, fruits, vegetables, hydrate. Your body will thank you, I promise. Bring your knees apart, toes to touch. Just sit back into a nice child's pose, stretching your back, your chest, and just breathing. Being so proud of yourself that you took this time. We make a million excuses for why we can't do this, why we can't take care of ourselves, carve out 20 minutes, 30 minutes, but really none of them are that good. They're just not valid enough to not take care of yourself. We've all done them. We make them all the time. It's always an active decision you have to make to carve out that time for yourself. There is no extra time in the day. Coming back up. And just sitting cross-legged here. Go ahead and lace your fingers together. Drop your hands behind your back, stretching out your chest a little more, your biceps. Maybe let your head drop. Opening up that throat, your throat chakra, where your have assertiveness and ability to speak up for yourself. Saying, hey, I'm going to take a half an hour and go work out. Comes from. We're just going to make our way down to the back and just do one more stretch here. So Feet flat on the floor. Bring your left ankle up over your right knee and just reach through, grabbing the back of your right thigh, really actively pushing that left knee away, flexing your feet, just feeling that stretch in that outer left hip, making sure your back is nice and flat with the floor. And release that. Shift it to the other side. That right knee away, flex the feet, bring up your left knee, and just let your head find its way back to the floor. You want to have everything supported. If you find you have to really lift up, then just keep your left foot right on the floor and focus on just pushing and finding some stretch in this outer hip. Feeling everything just settle back and notice how you feel. Do you feel alive? Do you feel proud? I hope so. And just gently coming back up to seated. I hope you feel very proud of yourself. You are focusing on all the ways that you can enhance your confidence and you can bring that vitality and that priority back to your life. Everyone around you will benefit. I promise you. You are so worth it. So I'll see you tomorrow.